Hey mathematicians, in this video I'm going to show you how to perform a dilation, and because the scale factor is 1/2, we're going to end up with a smaller scaled copy because that scale factor is smaller than 1, and the scaled copy, each of the vertices of that scaled copy will also be half the distance away from the center point of C. So let me show you what I mean by that. So first of all, coordinate B in my pre-image is, like, for lack of a better term, like two little diagonal boxes away from the center point. So once we shrink it down, it will be halfway in between the center and the pre-image B coordinate. My C coordinate, if I'm looking at these little diagonal boxes, is like 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the center point. So that means that my new coordinate C of my image is now going to be halfway in between that center point and where the original coordinate C was. And same thing for A. The new coordinate A will also be halfway in between my original coordinate A and my center. You can see if I kind of make a line right here, it's a little harder to see because that one's a little farther away, but you can tell A prime is now halfway in between there. So now we've created ourselves a triangle that is half the size, and each coordinate is half the distance away from the center point. And then here's a different view of it just so you can see that it is in fact half the size. So AB was originally about 10.2, but now in your image it's 5.1, so that's about half. You can see that originally this was pretty close to 9, now it's pretty close to 4.5, so it definitely shrunk down by a half. And this was about 8.5, and now in the image it's 4.2. So we have created a copy of the image that is half the size and where each coordinate is half the distance away from the center point. So now I'm going to do one in reverse. So instead of it being a smaller image, now because we've got a scale factor of 4, it's going to be a larger image than the pre-image. And we still need to keep in mind how far each coordinate is from that center point of P. So I'm going to zoom in here. So since point A in the pre-image is 1 unit away from the center, that means that my new A is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from the center, because it's got to be 4 times the distance, since it's a scale factor of 4. I'm going to use that same logic to figure out where my new B is, where my B prime is going to go, because it was 2 units away. So 2 times 4 would be 8. So now it needs to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units away from the center. And then finally, now that I've got my A prime and my B prime, so now C was originally 2 units away from the center point. So 2 times 4 means it needs to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it needs to be 8 units away. So now, as you can see, I've made myself a scaled copy where it's still exactly the same shape. It is just 4 times larger, and each vertex of the triangle is 4 times the distance away from the center point that it was before we enlarged it.